Roger, could you just speak about the tiebreak? You started off really well, and then John played some really good points, and then you made a comeback. Just where did it turn around according to you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's at the very end, I guess, but it was a tough. A tough tiebreaker throughout. Because I didn't feel like I was playing badly or really taking bad decisions, or at some moments you have to play a little bit safe, and he punished me every single time, and he was really coming up with the goods, and was able to stretch the lead, and once he had the lead, though, I was always able to hang on with my serve and win my points, which was really important, and then of course there was crucial points, 8-7, 8-all, 9-8, I'm happy they all went my way, but yeah, things were extremely difficult, not just in the breaker, but throughout the match for me against John.
Roger, how does an ending like that make you feel about continuing to compete? It must be thrilling, or how do you feel with that?
Continuous.
How do you feel with that, with the end of the tiebreak? I mean, it went from suddenly down 8-4 and then 6 straight points.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often like this, because it's not, we're not used to super breakers, and being down by such a big margin, is rare for us. I've played a few, I guess, in the doubles, a few of the Labour Cup as well. So you always feel like as long as it's not match point, you're still kind of in it. But the air gets so incredibly thin, and you know that any overhitting, any too much risk, or just handing over a point at this moment will cost you dearly. So it's a very, very tight balance you have to choose there. But yeah, I mean, it's happened to me in the past against me. It's happened in the past for me as well, and this one definitely was unique in many ways. That I was able to turn a super breaker around like this in an atmosphere. It was crazy. It was fun, and I couldn't be more happy. Of course, big relief.
Roger, you had 48 unforced errors on your forehand tonight, and I'm curious how much of that was John covering the court well, and you feeling like you had to go for too much, or how much was just not feeling that side as much today?
I mean, honestly, nothing against the statistics people, but over a 4-hour match you're going to hit unforced errors. And what is an unforced error is when it comes at 120 k's an hour or 135, or you're semi on the stretch. So for me, he pushed me, to go for more. Me, I'm not going to hold back and just rally all the time. I will always try to make plays, and for that I will miss some. Of course, sometimes I wish I could have maybe hit a few more winners instead of unforced errors, but shows how slow the courts can be as well. How many rallies get created, how he didn't serve and volley once, I serve and volleyed maybe 10 times, 5 times. I mean, it's that crazy at these moments. So when you can come in and you play serve and volley, and volley errors don't count, I don't think, ever, and rally errors always count. So there you go.
Now you've played a sort of 10-point deciding tiebreaker at Slam for the first time. What do you make of it compared to the other deciders at other Slams? For example, would you prefer it to Wimbledon, which goes past 6-all but then plays a standard breaker at 12-all?
I think it's important to have different endings at every Slam. We got that. And I'm making sure I experience them all before I leave the game. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I've been in so many different types of endings. As long, I don't even care what the ending is, as long as I know what the deal is at 6-6. I listen very carefully to the umpire, and they say it's a 10-point tiebreaker. I'm like, all right, it's a 10-point tiebreaker, and I kind of knew it was a 6-all this time around. And I felt the roar was big when he won his 7th point in the breaker. People must have thought it was over. No, I mean, look, I'm actually, in a funny way, I'm okay with all 4 endings, because they all have a reason to end the way they do. I don't know what it is. I'm, of course, a historian. I like when it just goes, into the infinity, if you like. But I do also see with what we saw with Mahou and Isner, that if that happens, you have no shot of winning the tournament anymore. It's just not possible. So I guess it is good to end it and cap it at some point, you know, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, and I think, you know, if you're ending up with 6-all and super tiebreaker, or 9-all or 12-all, I mean, you have had enough chances to clinch it early. And I mean, I remember, not that I remember the days, but I remember Tony Roach telling me that they had long sets in every set, you know. I just think TV couldn't handle that nowadays anymore.
Roger, I was just wondering if you can pinpoint exactly what it is in his game that makes him such a tough matchup for you. Whether it's his game, or is it the attitude, the whole mentality he brings, what it is?
Attitude. I mean, yeah, you need to bring that, but like if a guy's jumping up and down on the other side, it's not going to beat me. You need to bring, I think, everything to the table, you know. I hope so, to hang with me and all that stuff. And I just think it's just so tough from the baseline, you know. He's got sort of good speed on the backhand, on the forehand. The way he hits it makes it, for me, unsure if I should pull the trigger or I shouldn't, or is it there to be hit or not. And every time I get a ball, I'm in two ways, because I have the option to do that with my game, but and then he covers the court very well, you know, because he hits it hard enough. Maybe it's harder for me to find angle. And I think the biggest problem for me was just I wasn't able to get enough, because I was not returning poorly per se, you know. I was just not getting into those neutral rallies, finding the ways to unlock him, and that's his credit. He's a great player, and like you said, he's got great attitude, and that's why I mumbled something to him at the net, just saying I have so much respect for you, and it's such a pity. I'm so sorry, but well played and all that stuff. But because I really feel that way for John.
A straight set win is obviously easier, but is there something about a night like this, the atmosphere, the competition, the back and forth, all of that, that is at least part of why you continue to play?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, in the moment itself, it's very grueling and at times very disappointing, you know, that you are in situations where, I don't know, you get broken in the fifth, or you're down in the super breaker and lose the first set. It's not a big deal yet, to be honest, but that's when you really start wondering, you know, like, why couldn't I close this match earlier, and all these things, and then all of a sudden you turn the whole thing around within like 2 minutes, and it was so worthwhile, you know, everything that I've gone through, and I think if I do play tennis, it's because of winning titles, trying to win as many matches as possible, enjoying myself out on court, but also be in epic matches like this. It doesn't always have to be finals, I guess, you know. And as long as the crowds are into it, you have a great battle with an opponent who you really admire and respect. It's a good feeling, you know, and I'm happy I had that match tonight, and I hope I would feel the same way also if I would have lost, to be honest.
Thank you.